get 100% more revenue just by tweaking your pricing strategy. It's really, really important because that's what I've been doing with my clients over the last couple of weeks. We've been getting 100% revenue uplift by coming up with a new pricing strategy. And that is huge, right? We're talking overnight. And there's some symptoms that show you whether or not you might have an issue with your pricing strategy, right? So there's 7 key symptoms. There's lots, but there's 7 key symptoms. And I'm going to run through those really quickly right now. So the first one is that you're constantly worried about paying the bills, right? You're not quite sure whether you're going to be able to make the next bill. That could be a symptom of a poor pricing strategy. Another one is that you haven't raised your prices in 2 years. If you haven't raised your prices in 2 years, you don't really have a strong pricing strategy that needs to be addressed. The next one is, you may be losing jobs to competitors, even though you're priced at a similar value point or at a similar price point, or you may be actually priced cheaper. That is a very typical challenge that you have with a poor pricing strategy. And it's often not because you are charging too much. So that's something to consider. It may be that you're not charging enough, but there's more to it than just the price, which we'll get to in a second. If customers don't appreciate your work, that's a classic example or classic sign, a symptom of a pricing challenge that you have. If you haven't taken a proper vacation, that's another real classic example where your pricing strategy just isn't working properly because it doesn't give you that opportunity. The next one is if you're not able to attract or retain good staff. It sounds like there could be a disconnect here, like it's quite far, but it's actually really, really close because your pricing strategy denotes who you are as a company. And so it actually has an effect on how you attract and retain staff. And then the last one, which I think is really important one, is if you sit down and work out the number of hours that you work in your business as the business owner or leader, and you then divide that by the money that you get back from the business, and you compare that hourly rate with what you pay your staff, if you find that you're being paid the same or less than your staff, you have likely that you have a real pricing strategy challenge. And there's 2 things that you've got to think about when you look at your pricing strategy, which I recommend if you're having any of these symptoms that you look at your pricing strategy right away. There's 2 things. One is that pricing is not an art, it's a science. You need a model that you can calculate. It's not an art, it's a science. And the second one is that people, and everyone, we're all providing our services to people. People do not buy on price, they buy on value. So they do not buy on price, they buy on value. And that is absolutely critical when you're building out your pricing strategy. If you want some help with your pricing strategy, if you have any of these symptoms, reach out to me. We can jump on a pricing strategy call and quickly run through, see where you're at, and give you some tips on where you can move forward. So anyway, have a great Easter weekend,